Here are some photos from my Florida vacation that I took in spring 2021. I wasn't really going to post these, but I figured, why not? In this video, I will also be including some of my mistakes. You can see them here. I just wanted to go over all the photos in a different way, the way that I did with my previous role reviews. See, where some of my hits were, where some of my misses were, and give a little bit of commentary and perhaps a little bit of constructive self-critique. So let's get into it. As you can see from this photo, it is out of focus in the area that I wanted in focus compared to the last one. This one I just totally fucked up. This one is what I took when I mistakenly put off the shutter while I was trying to adjust the kaleidoscope filter. You can see my camera strap in the corner there because I am an idiot. These ones actually came out really nice. I quite enjoy this one with like the little bridge on the beach. I also really enjoy just this very flat scene that I took at the beach in Jacksonville, Florida. It's just a very, very like flat, grainy image. There's not a lot of highlight or dark. It's mostly mid-tones. I'm not sure how well I'm going to end up rendering it on Filmora. But this is a photo that I really like. I actually have it printed out in my house. So yeah, this is one of the ones. Here are a few photos from Jacksonville. When I went to visit my cousins, they live in northern Florida. We did go on a quick little trip to Jacksonville just to, drive around. I did take a couple photos of the city. There was a lot of really interesting sort of street art. I really, really love the one with the heart on it. It's a little bit of a sketchy city, but a lot of the buildings and stuff are actually pretty nice in like the general area. I also took a lot of Polaroids here. We also, on the way to St. Augustine, we stopped at like this little church place. I'm not exactly sure how legal it is that we were walking around here, I guess like on the off hours. But my cousins are really big into just like exploring places and stuff and taking photos. Usually the people in my family are kind of like, oh, Vivian, we can't stand this. Like, could you just hurry the fuck up and stop taking photos? But my cousins that live in Florida really enjoy photography, so this was really fun. I let one of my cousin's daughters fool around with my Polaroid camera a little bit, showed her how to use it. We had a lot of fun. Just taking photos in like this little church area. I didn't take a whole lot of photos, but the ones I took I really enjoy. I think they're a lot of fun. Polaroid sidetrack. One thing that I've noticed about Polaroid photos is that I don't want to say that it is the fault of the Polaroid Originals company, because I did have to reformulate the whole thing from scratch thanks to copyright whatever laws. But one thing that I find when doing Polaroids is that it is a very fucking hit and miss type of situation. Especially since I really like taking photos of like close-ups, like flowers and stuff. I find myself, even with the SX70, as it is, it has like a really nice lens. A lot of times, like I really kind of like fuck up the framing. It is a rangefinder, and I do have glasses. I can't see very well distance, like anything past like 2 feet, like totally fucks with me. So a lot of times with a rangefinder, it sort of like refracts with my glasses, and it's really, really hard to get like an in-focus shot with my SX70. But the thing about the SX70 is that when it slaps, it really motherfucking slaps. Some of the photos I've taken with the SX70 that have actually like been really good have been totally worth the hundreds of dollars that I've thrown out on bum Polaroids. So when I went to St. Augustine, it was pretty much at the end of the sunset going into night. So it was actually pretty dark out. These photos that are in color, I shot with Kodak 200 gold and Tri-X. Some of them were shot with my little kaleidoscope filter, which was really, really fun. I think using the kaleidoscope filter at the fort that's kind of like on the beach there was a lot of fun. The only thing is that as it was getting dark, I kind of had to like change the shutter on my SLR that's kind of heavy, just to like the hold it down port, so like bulb mode, which isn't very good if the camera is heavy and you're a weakling like me and you have to shoot a handheld without a tripod. But I really tried on that. In addition, as I was going into St. Augustine with my SLR, it was actually like really, really dark at night. And one of my cousins was kind of like, "Oh, I dare you to just cry, just go into the cemetery, just go in." And for any of those who don't know, is the cemetery in St. Augustine is very much like a historical monument. It's closed a lot, like you can't go in there for like at night over certain hours. They really like limit the amount of people that are allowed in there and the time of day that you're allowed in there. And they're pretty strict about trespassing. So my cousin basically just like was like, "Hey, do it." So there was a part of the stone fencing that was short enough for me to climb over. Now I'm like way less than 5 feet tall. I'm very short, so this was very easy. So I was taking photos, and then I hear like this nighttime ghost tour bus, and they stop in front of the cemetery, and I'm taking photos handheld on bold mode, so I am trying my best to sit still. And then I hear people saying, like, "Oh, there's a ghost," and then the tour lady's like, "No, that's a trespasser." So she's screaming at me, "Get out of there, we're gonna call the cops and all whatever." And my family is standing at like the other side, just fucking laughing at me. So I more or less make like a fast walk to leave, and where I thought I was going was just over the part of the stone wall that I could just, easily get over. That was not the case. It is a little bit uneven, so that in certain areas, you step over it and there's like a foot of a drop. Where I stepped over it, there was 4 feet of drop, and I busted my freaking knee. It felt like I had broken my knee. Um, and it really, really hurt. Thankfully, this was not the time in which I broke my SLR. That wouldn't happen until much later in the year when I went to Oregon. But yes, that is a fun little story of how I broke my knee getting yelled at by a ghost tour in St. Augustine. These photos turned out like shit, by the way, so it wasn't really worth it. So to finish up this rule review, the best thing I can say about it is that not all of my pictures showed up. I made quite a few mistakes. However, I can say that I did have a fantastic time with everybody. And the pictures I did take that turned out well were really, really worth it. I've printed and framed a lot of them in my house. And so far, I call that a win. Sometimes you don't need to create good art. Sometimes you just need to have good memories. And if you get a couple really nice shots that you can just put up in your house, that's just good enough.